Pop star Kesha has had sex with a ghost. That is her truth. And she has a new ghost hunting show. And we will now talk about both of these things.
Have you slept with a ghost?
I did go to the Bone Zone with a ghost.
To hear Kesha tell it, she does not know her ghost lover's name.
I don't know his name, but he was in my house.
You don't know his name?
Why is a ghost?
Which makes sense, because it would somehow be even weirder if they exchanged pleasantries first. It would just ruin the mystique. I had sex with a ghost, but don't know his name is way better than I had sex with Reggie, the ghost of the assistant manager at the old knitting mill down the road. He died of byssinosis, which is a common lung disease seen in textile workers due to inhaling synthetic fibers. Anyway, I guess Kesha's ghost was just haunting her residence and decided to seduce her one night. You know how these things go.
And so he just started caressing me like this.
I kind of wonder if Kesha is one of those girls who watched Casper as a kid.
Can I keep you?
And it left an impact. Kesha's spiritual encounter was presumably in or around the year 2012, and now, in the year of our Lord, 2022, Discovery Plus, which is Discovery's streaming service, has given Kesha a 6-episode ghost hunting show named Conjuring Kesha. Very shortly, I will recap the first episode for you, but first, we need to talk more about ghost sex. Kesha told this story to Conan in an interview in 2012, and she mentioned it in other interviews that year. Supposedly, this encounter inspired her song Supernatural, so it isn't something that she just made up recently to promote her new show. However, while promoting her ghost hunting show in recent interviews, Kesha brought up her spiritual nighttime encounter again, and she actually backtracked. Despite clearly calling the ghost him in previous interviews, she now says that she was in bed with her boyfriend and the ghost was that of a woman who just woke her up in a sensual way. You may think that this is a sign that Kesha isn't being entirely truthful about her ghostly encounter, but I think that she's actually had multiple ghost partners, and that's why she can't keep her story straight. So picking Kesha for this show is a smart move on Discovery's part, because when faced with the choice, who is a ghost going to manifest to? Someone who won't have sex with it, or someone who will have sex with it? Makes you wonder if ghost hunters captured so much paranormal activity because the show was fake, or because of other reasons. When normal people think about ghost sex, if they ever think about ghost sex, they probably think of the Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze movie, Ghost. But I think of an English woman named Amethyst Realm, who met her ghost boyfriend while on vacation in the Australian bush and then decided to bring him back home with her, and they joined the Mile High Club together on the airplane.
Actually, on the flight back from Australia, you did actually go into the loo and do what some people do.
Member of a Mile High Club.
Some of these ghost boyfriend, ghost fiance, ghost husband stories are so elaborate. Like, there's an Irish woman who claimed to marry a 300-year-old pirate ghost who had been executed for theft at sea. And the woman was a Jack Sparrow impersonator, so she figured that the pirate ghost probably looked like Jack Sparrow, so she named him Jack. Eventually, she got tired of having casual ghost sex, so she laid down an ultimatum. So they had a white dress wedding out in international waters performed by a medium. She had a pregnancy scare with the ghost that just turned out to be menopause. They were going to co-write a book together, and that is not even the half of it. The whole story is just a lot. By the way, Amethyst did later call off the wedding, and the Irish woman and her pirate ghost also got a divorce. Anyway, now Kesha has a ghost hunting show. And my first question, upon hearing this, was, is she looking for her supernatural one-night stand? Did he ghost her. Conjuring Kesha debuted on July 8th, 2022, and is available on Discovery+. Let's do a quick walkthrough of the first episode so you can capture the spirit of the show. The show intro is one of those things where it tries to be spooky and unsettling by showing you a bunch of creepy yet unclear visuals, all in rapid succession and sometimes overlaid on each other, interspersed with a bunch of religious symbolism. But then there's Kesha. The first location she visits is Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, which Brushy Mountain sounds adorable. It sounds like a land in Neopets, but this is Tennessee.
Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, one of the most haunted prisons in the United States.
Throughout the episode, she's speaking into a handheld video camera, and shots from that camera are interspersed with shots from the cameras of the actual film crew who were with her. So it's weird when we're shown shots of Kesha speaking into the handheld camera, but it's from the perspective of the film crew. One of the show's gimmicks is that Kesha brings on a different famous friend each episode, and episode 1 is the comedian Whitney Cummings. There are shots where you can see Kesha and Whitney holding and speaking into the handheld camera, but then there's also another cameraman in the shot, and this is a shot that we're seeing from a different cameraman. There's just so many cameras. We get some more background on the location from Kesha, delivered in monologue form and overlaid on top of these creepy visuals and shots of the prison and shots of Kesha just like walking around. Kesha, why are you wearing your hat indoors? Some of these shots feel like they're the intro scene to a music video.
The prison itself was actually built by the prisoners in 1896 in the shape of an upside-down crucifix.
Yeah, but if you just turn around and you look at it from the other direction, it's a right side up crucifix. There are shots of Kesha with these demon eyes. Why? What does Kesha wearing contacts add to the narrative of this episode? So before Kesha and Whitney can go meet Debbie, who is a former correctional officer at the prison, Whitney freaks out.
No! What's happening?
Whitney, are you okay?
No! I'm leaving.
She says she felt something grab her wrist.
This wrist hurts, like someone was like holding it or pulling on it.
She just got here, she hasn't even gone inside, and she already wants to leave. We are less than 4 minutes into this episode. They meet Debbie, who seems like the sweetest lady.
Hi,
Hi, are you Debbie?
I'm Debbie. Welcome to the infamous and dark Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary.
And the show tries to put her name in this creepy font and like a little title card, but you can't really make the name Debbie scary. It's just Debbie. But man, Debbie has some stories.
When he went by, something hit us in the chest. Blood was splattering all the way down the highway every step he took.
She's had some paranormal experiences within the prison, but she delivers everything in this very congenial, calm Southern accent.
If they were evil in life, they're going to be evil in death.
There's maybe demons.
We have definitely had some experience here that points to demons.
I haven't really watched ghost hunting shows in years, but I used to really enjoy Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Facers, Ghost Brothers, and those were all made for regular TV. So it feels weird to me when I hear the cast say things like this.
Y'all are gonna be like, go in there and sit there by yourself and like sleep there. And I'll probably do it because I'm not a pussy.
So if there are demons that are to come out, let a bitch know.
I did watch the BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural series, and the tone of this show does remind me a little bit of that, but Shane and Ryan had a much stronger on-screen chemistry and a way better comedic element. They also had a more definitive sense of their personas and understood what they were there to do. This show just feels all over the place. Whitney and Kesha meet two women whose family owned the land. They have some more stories.
We've seen apparitions, shadow figures. We've been touched, things slam. We were getting a lot of growls.
It's all pretty standard stuff for haunted locations.
So over here is where we get the creeper. That's
What's the creeper?
The creeper's on his belly.
No.
But while getting a tour, Kesha starts to feel nauseous, which of course means demons.
No, I just feel like kind of pukey.
Do you feel nauseous?
Yeah.
And she decides that they're done for the day. That's it. They pack up. It's barely nighttime.
Okay, I'm making the executive decision to be done for the day. I have the keys, but I'm done.
But they do come back for day 2.
I didn't really want to come back here because I feel like the energy is weirdly ominous.
I noticed that the handheld camera has these weird little tracking lines, and you could attribute that to the age of the camera and the film, but I just have a suspicion that those were added in post. Anyway, they're freaked out by the idea of demons, so they bring in a demonologist named Michael.
Do you think people are good?
No.
And then they spend the next several minutes recapping everything that the audience just heard and saw.
Physical manifestation through illness. I felt nauseous and my head was hurting. And
You were dizzy.
I was dizzy. Her wrist got grabbed.
I'm sure you will be shocked, but this demonologist's professional opinion is, yep, sounds like demons.
Some sort of diabolical presence here, which would mean an inhuman spirit or a demon.
Throughout this whole episode, both Whitney and Kesha just have a whole lot of reactions.
9.
Wow.
Just out of the...
Ew. Why? Because I can guarantee you it will.
Michael reads the definition of demons and possession.
I'm going to read this to you because it's something that I think that you should know.
Just off of a sheet of paper in a very dry voice.
Possession is the invasion of the mind and body by a demonic force.
With the narration placed over these dramatic shots of the prison, like a horned figure and a burning cross.
Producing mental health disorders, physical illness, and criminal behavior.
It's like he's reading the side effects of a cholesterol medication with zero idea that the audience is seeing visuals of intense satanic imagery. The demonologist brought a bunch of stuff. There's a blessed palm, a bell that supposedly summons angels, and a motion detector that plays music like this.
It'll play a nice little tune.
All of these items are carefully and individually detailed, and they all serve almost no purpose later on, except to waste my time. More shots of Kesha complaining about what is essentially her job.
No! I'm scared. Can I leave you?
While getting ready for the ghost hunt, one of the little alarm thingies goes off, and the camera crew acts like they were entirely unprepared for this. This is a surprise. Like you hear someone in the background saying that they need to get the cameras on.
We need to get cameras up right this second.
What's happening?
Kesha is scared.
Somebody needs to go.
I'll do it.
So they send Whitney to investigate.
I'm not one to shy away from scary things. I love scaring myself.
This is contradictory to every single thing you have said and done thus far. Whitney and Kesha are basically split up, but we can tell that they're not completely alone and they each have members of the crew with them. In each of their locations, they have some sort of ghost communication device, and they both seem to be having just very simplistic interactions with some spirits.
Is there anybody here? Are there any spirits here? What was that?
It's nothing special, just the devices making noise and the girls freaking out.
Are you the spirit that possessed the man that was here before?
has an interaction with a spirit that I don't really know how to interpret.
Are you a transgender woman? I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
But then she starts to have an emotional moment with the spirit.
Like, the only thing more horrific is imagining a woman trapped in a man's body who was here.
And the demonologist reacts very strongly. He's like, they need to get out of there now. Or actually, he doesn't really speak with any kind of enthusiasm or vocal inflection, so it's really more just like, oh, they need to get out of there right now.
All right, someone needs to tell them to get out of there.
Michael starts to explain that her instincts were wrong, and this was clearly the demon trying to manipulate her into lowering her guard.
No, it knew exactly how to push my buttons.
Right.
That's like my most...
It was trying to lull you into a sense of security.
Kesha has a really odd manner of speaking sometimes.
Or it's a trap. And I have not quite figured out which one it is.
So Whitney and Kesha continue the ghost hunt together. And it's just a lot of them walking around and then devices going off and the two of them reacting poorly.
What was that? Did you just hear that growl?
Oh, God.
They have this device that's showing a bunch of dots on a bright pink and green screen. And it's supposed to indicate something, and that something is supposed to be ominous, but I have no idea what it is. It just looks like a bad MS Paint drawing.
Is it touching your leg? Do you feel anything touching your leg?
I don't know.
Then Kesha just absolutely loses her mind and leaves, completely abandoning Whitney.
Light, I'm too scared. There's a demon. Let's go. Light, flashlight, let's go.
Kesha is convinced that there is a demon, a satanic force working within this prison, and their very immortal souls are in grave and imminent danger. I would like to take this moment to tell you a little bit about Brushy State Penitentiary. Sure, you can take a tour of the prison, but you can also take tours of the on-site distillery. Brushy Mountain Distillery is home to Frozen Head Vodka, Double Barrel Whiskey, Struggle Bus Bloody Mary Mix, and End-of-the-Line Moonshine, available in 9 flavors. And after you visit the distillery, head to lunch at the Warden's Table Restaurant. It's traditional Southern cooking with a twist. They've got sandwiches, fried pickles, corn dogs, cheesecake, and more, all made with the finest quality fresh ingredients. But before you head home, be sure to check out the gift shop. Anyway, Kesha is convinced that her immortal soul is in grave danger and she refuses to go back inside the evil demon prison.
I don't need to interact with darkness in the waking life or in the afterlife.
So that's it. Kesha calls the whole thing off.
Just want to take a break, or are you done?
Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm good.
Okay.
Then she has a fit in the courtyard, just cursing out the haunted prison.
This place. You demon. You ghost.
Whitney gives what is essentially the thesis statement of this episode.
Well, why would it want you alone?
I don't know. I don't know how these things work.
I don't know how these things work. They decide to go to the bar.
Well, it says bar, so we're gonna go to the bar after, and I agree.
Yeah. Bar, maybe.
I mean, there's a distillery on site, but I guess it's closed for the day. The episode ends with more overdramatic shots, similar to the intro, where Kesha delivers a weird monologue, in which she says so much and yet nothing at all.
Facing hard things makes that moment when the sun starts peeking through the darkness even sweeter, revealing the most glorious light after the darkest storms.
They waste so much time in this episode by having these kind of confessional style interviews with Kesha, where she talks about how she loves spirits and spirituality, and then so many shots of her being freaked out by demons and saying she doesn't want to do this.
I'm a spiritual explorer. It's all very fun and whimsical and light and magical and existential. But like, this does not feel magical.
What did you think you were here to do? All of the visuals, all of the little cutaway shots are dark, evil, ominous. You're not like truffle hunting in the forest while you search for gnomes. You are hunting the souls of the damned in an abandoned prison. This show does not know what it wants to be. They're playing up the demons and the ghosts and all of the scary elements. They're incorporating ghost hunting technology. They're bringing in experts. They're intentionally setting up shots with very atmospheric lighting and creepy visuals. This show is just playing it way too straight. They should have leaned into the ridiculous element of having Kesha be the host. Like, instead of a creepy intro, they should have made the intro something kind of silly, maybe set to her song TikTok, and have all these dancers just dressed as ghosts. Like, make the show campy and fun. Make it clear that Kesha thinks she's going to have a great time, and then she shows up, and it's creepy, and it's scary, and she freaks out. And everyone in the production crew is just standing around like, what did you expect? The alternative would be to give Kesha a very bookish and straight-laced co-host, someone who understands the technical aspects of ghost hunting, but is also an extreme skeptic. So instead of both hosts getting freaked out and running away, Kesha can have as big and bombastic of a reaction as she wants, and then the camera can cut to the co-host just like standing there, and the dichotomy of their reactions would create a natural comedy. The issue with that is that Kesha would essentially become the butt of the joke, and I'm guessing they didn't want to go in that direction because this is essentially her show. But it doesn't matter because right now the show is plagued by the biggest demon of all, boredom. By the way, in episode 4, Kesha hunts Bigfoot.
I totally believe in aliens, alien abduction, interdimensional beings. But no, I don't believe in Bigfoot.
She is joined by Jojo Fletcher of The Bachelorette. And surprisingly, the two of them don't actually believe in Bigfoot. At first.
I don't know if I believe in just a big hairy dude running around. And then in terms of UFOs, I'm definitely more open to that.
But they do potentially believe the stories about a subterranean or interdimensional city hidden somewhere within this mountain.
Telos, which is an interdimensional city in Mount Shasta.
There's a lot happening here.
They only show up in this dimension when a righteous or innocent soul is in mortal peril.
However, after speaking with the locals, their opinion on Bigfoot changes.
What I'm taking away is that Bigfoot is a higher consciousness that will dip in and out of this dimension.
This episode is the best one.
This is one of the major vortexes on the planet.
By far.
The little people, the Bigfoot, the star people, we're all in this together.
And it's not because the episode is structured any differently or because their hunt is any more successful. It's purely because of the topic. I am very intrigued and I have so many questions.
Their fur was really long and white, and obviously they were dirty and they smelled like musk.
Although for some reason this episode is shot in like shaky cam, and even when the people are seated in one place, the camera is just shaking all over with the focus going in and out. It hurts my eyes. While I was so tempted to do the entire video about episode 4, I decided to stick with the first episode since that's the one that the show chose to lead with. And it is pretty representative of the series overall. Not gonna lie, if one of my friends called me up and was like, hey, do you want to go hunt interdimensional Bigfoot spirits on Mount Shasta in California? I would say yes. No hesitation.